Hi, everyone. Welcome back to CRN In Depth, where we dive into a big CRN story unfolding now with the reporter who covered it. I'm Wade Millward, Senior Associate Editor for CRN, and today I'm speaking with CRN Senior Editor Kyle Alspach about our coverage of RSAC, one of the biggest annual cybersecurity conferences. Thanks for joining me, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kyle, what would you say was the biggest takeaway from RSAC 2023?
I think the biggest one would be that generative AI is definitely here for cybersecurity. There were a number of pretty big product announcements involving bringing generative AI to different aspects of cybersecurity and cyber defense. Definitely was the dominant topic of discussion, among people and the keynotes all touched on it. The big questions that this raises include, well, is this actually gonna, make a meaningful difference with cybersecurity and bringing improvements? I think that most people I spoke with do think so. I think that there's pretty wide agreement on the fact that this is gonna matter. A lot of it is gonna come down to how much data these tools are able to leverage. The technology is fine on its own, but if they don't have good data and a lot of data to use generative AI with, that's where you're gonna be not making as much of a difference.
I think one of my big takeaways was just the level of investment in the channel from cybersecurity vendors, both large and small. Talk to me about why we are seeing this investment in the channel at this time, Kyle.
Well, I think that it's just becoming something that's not optional for security vendors because so many are doing it just to be competitive. Security vendors need to do this. They need to invest in them and launch programs. I think that even some security vendors that maybe haven't focused on it as much in years past, I've been seeing more announcements from them that they're going to be implementing new partner programs and trying to get that interest up from the partners. So even small companies are doing this now. Startups that just launched a year ago are coming out with channel programs now.
Yeah, and I think the lack of manpower, right, is probably another factor in the channel investment, along with all the automation we're seeing in cybersecurity.
Absolutely, yeah. The fact that security teams, it's very hard to recruit and find the talent for those teams, and so managed security service providers are in high demand. That doesn't seem to be something that's going to be changing because the talent shortage is so massive and and it's so hard to get people into the world of cybersecurity. Even if they do have training, it's very difficult to get them into entry-level positions because the threats are so serious. They don't want people who don't know what they're doing responding to major attacks and things like that.
And now that we're out of RSAC, what storylines in cybersecurity are you going to continue to follow throughout the year?
I think that the consolidation of tools is going to continue to be a huge one. Cybersecurity is too complex because, in part, because there are too many tools out there. There's just huge demand from customers and from partners too to just not have to work with as many tools. They don't always all work together very well, and so it'll improve security. It will be less expensive to work with a single vendor rather than 10 different vendors in certain cases, and it'll reduce the complexity. So which should be good for security.
Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of CRN In Depth. For more of our cybersecurity coverage, visit crn.com. Thanks for chatting with me today, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.